you to be a fighter coach. And what I call a fighter coach is a coach that works strictly with fighters. Yes, that is a position in the sport of boxing. Now, today, what we're going to do is get directly into how do you take your gym like to the utmost pinnacle with this actual business model. And you're going to be excited to know that today we're going to break the code for you. And we don't want you to miss this because every detail is going to be the reason why being a fight coach, a coach of real fighters, is, let me see, sorry. The reason why that's going to be the most important factor in how you grow right now is because the fight gym, the pro am, this pro am gym that I've been discussing with you guys as of late is a real thing. And since the actual turn of this decade, which is 2020, we all know what happened in 2020. You'll be really interested in knowing, especially if you work with fighters. Now, some of you are probably in a holding pattern where you can't really get the right people in front of you. So today you're going to learn that there are only three components that you're going to need in order to reach your precipice as a fight trainer, someone who focuses on fighting. And specifically, this is your deal. And no matter what happens, this is how you're living. If you're one of these guys who are working with fighters, you're going to learn what is so important about having a pro am gym. And it takes three components, like I just said. And these three components will be the reason why you actually are able to work with any level fighter, and you're going to attract more people because since the turn of the decade, you'll be happy to know that the increase in just attraction, which is the first component that you will need, attraction. You need to be that draw. You need to have that X factor. And so with that being said, 4,000% increase in just interest in our sport. And with the influx of other sports like MMA, One Champion, UFC, all of these different components, pro football, all of these different podcasts and things are starting based on the sport of boxing. Everybody has a dream when you get into the fight business or the training field. And so when you learn that these components that it takes builds a culture, when you create attraction and those people think what you're thinking and want to get further inside of your head because you think just like them. If you're a Jake Paul, if you're right, huh? Is something wrong? Hold on one second. Let me check my mic. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Give me thumbs up if my mic is working right. Hold on one second. I got to make sure that the audio is, because if it's not, I got to start this thing all the way from the beginning. There we go. Let me start this thing back from fresh because we have to record this for you because tonight it's going to replay. So if you the pro am fight gym trainer, the trainer that's working with fighters is going to be in a place where they're going to be glad to know that it's your time, it's your era. There are three components that's going to assure that you have chosen the right field. And this isn't just conversation. This is really, I'm drawing a map for you guys to do this, and you won't ever have to rethink this again. If you listen to what I'm about to tell you and you're working with fighters, but you kind of hit a roadblock and you don't see that next level to your ceiling because you're literally at a plateau. Structure is one thing, but these three components that we are going to directly give you the blueprint to is right here. So just pay attention and start taking notes and make sure that you understand that this is going to be the reason why everything that you dreamed about when you first started is going to come to fruition. So the number one thing when it comes down to why is this happening, all right, that first word would be attraction. And since 2020, which is the turn of the decade, we all know at the beginning the pandemic hit. But what happened is there have been a transition in the eyes of those who were not watching, and the new world order brought in, as the pandemic left out, it brought in something that everyone had to do during the pandemic. And what were you doing during the pandemic more than anything or anytime ever? You were on your phones. You were watching new creators. There were over 100 million brand new businesses started through YouTube. These things all happen because people realized during that time I could either work a job, whether you were a person who went to work for the fire department, or if you were in the medical field, or if you were just someone who had a city position, and you realize then everything could be taken away. That's when people doubled down. That's where people started committing, and that's where the attention started being more important than diamonds. And when you start to think about that, think about how important it is when you're someone in the training field. So the number one thing, since it's been 4,000% increase just since that period of time, has shown you that this is important. And when you are working in the field of training and you are a coach of fighters, that is one of the most unaptitude things that you could actually accomplish, because maybe you go and become a trainer, but that does not mean David Benavidez is going to walk into your gym. Manny Pacquiao is going to walk into your gym. Canelo Alvarez is going to walk into your gym. But when you understand the next component, then you'll understand you don't need those guys. You can build your own guy. And what is that guy called? Before I get into that, this is all about building a culture, because when people believe in what you believe in and you have a bigger voice than them, that's where you build a following. There's a connection there. So we take time every single day, and what we do is we make sure that we execute polls. The polls are the most important part of connecting with your people, because when you can connect with your people will be able to let their guard down and tell you what it is that they're thinking. We do it every day. Does it take a lot of work? Absolutely. I probably have been going back and forth with you. I got people on our call schedule. I got people meet and greet. I got conversations, and I'm showing up at several events just because the connection. So you just got to do more than have a page. You got to do more than have a channel. You got to let people in, especially if you're cool. And I'm cool as hell. When it comes down to connecting with people and hearing them, I've learned that skill. So that makes me cool. When you're doing everything and it's just about you, that makes you guy, and that makes you uncool. So if you look at your social media and there's no value being given, you're just taking selfies, wrong. So we leave that and going into the next conversation. After you build a culture, you have to realize what they used to say about the American culture in the 80s is that they thought that they were creating people because so many people were so successful over here. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Jack Nicklaus. It's all of these different superstar, mega impactful entities, and they were the biggest names on the globe, no matter what country you were in. That's why it's so important that if you're going to be successful, make sure you collaborate with someone in the US, because this is the mecca of success. You're not successful until you're successful over here. I didn't write the book, the numbers say it. All right. So I don't know many other stars in other countries. Now I'm global, but I don't know as many as you guys know. Most people from other countries know most of the stars over here. And so therefore you're in a popular market. So if you're training in the fight game and you understand how to groom a person, all you need is the blueprint to groom a fighter. And you can create that special fighter. And that fighter is called a hybrid fighter. And now I always make it clear when I have these conversations that This isn't a magical thing. The word hybrid is taking one different species or element and combining it with another and creating something different, unique, a unicorn. Okay. This is what we call the hybrid fighter. This person is offensively minded and has a devastating offensive prowess. They understand how to make and open up any defense. They are unstoppable. When they are on their A game, there's no one that can stop them. That's when you're talking about the likes of people like Archie Moore, the old mongoose, who literally start winning titles when he was in his 40s. And this was in the toughest eras of boxing because the availability of the knowledge wasn't as accessible as it is today. You can learn about a lot of different things. Maybe you don't have an application to implement those things, but you can steal enough stuff, but you got to have application. Archie Moore, Jack Dempsey. When you look at Lomachenko, you're looking at a hybrid fighter, a person that can open up any defense. Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson of the 80s was a different breed. These guys have athleticism, but their athleticism isn't the most dynamic part of their tool chest. Their tool chest consists of offensive prowess, a maniacal drive, and they have the algorithm of a fighter. Even when these guys get hit and hurt, they fight. They don't back down. Now, you've seen guys who are athletic and got a lot of talent. But when it comes down to that moment where you saw the other side of them, you realize, oh, you're more human than you are an absolute hybrid. Hybrid is different. And so that's one of the components that we entail. Make sure that when you are training fighters, that you're giving them the edge. And the minute you get this coin says a lot. This coin tells you you're training on an entirely different level. And that's why the most important component to what we do is we make champions out of our trainers so that our trainers can make champions. And so that's what you are going to see when you're in a gym that's pro am and it has those components. The components to hybrid fighter are the kind of fighters that attract people to the arena. The arena is packed. Javante Davis. The arena is packed because people are so curious as to what these individuals will do next. If you ever watch a training video of Sugar Ray Robinson with the rope, and you used to see him do things back in the 40s and 50s that you don't see guys able to do today, that's a hybrid. He has all of the things singing from heaven that's literally just totally taken over his body and created something unique. And that's what you're trying to develop. And when you got the right system, the system must contain of the variety of basics and the variety of advanced, and then the variety of unconventional styles. And then that fourth component is having the ability to pull it all together and make it their own. And when you put them in the ring, when you have all of those components, that is when you have developed a hybrid fighter. There's a checklist of everything that you'll need to accomplish. And there's the actual application so you won't mess this up trying to overdo things. So to learn more about the hybrid fighter, you'll continue to follow for more. If you have further questions and you want to know and get the deeper understanding of it, what I'll have you do is either type the word champion or schedule a call through our link in the Instagram or Facebook. Now, but this is about the third component, because when the fighter is a hybrid fighter and you're developing them, you're the trainer developing hybrid fighters. See, these guys, they attract audiences who want to pay to see them. That's why Tank's place is so full. Every time you see him, his arena is packed. The pay-per-views are either upwards of 1 million sales or over. That is a powerful influx. Even with all of the devices that people are taking and still in the cable, they still are doing those kind of numbers.
If you could sell 100,000 of anything for over $50, that's a $500,000 without including sports bars. So when you're developing your fighters, are you thinking about these components? All right. So, because the third thing is not to leave from that, because once you start to get people to pay for everything, then endorsement deals start. See, it's a perfect time to be a fight trainer. If you're working with fighters and you're not really blowing your gym or your facility up, if it's not hitting that place, people want to see it. People want the smoke. I got people signing up to fight at the age and over the age of 60 because it's such a unique thing to know that you can have the ability to fight against another person if it boils to that, or compete against someone in the masters division, or go over to celebrity boxing, or have the opportunity to get on a card, a main event card. Because see, if you check on these boxes at your gym, that's what's going to happen. The new age of athlete, young man that I'm going to see on Saturday over at Brawlers in Miami, has 130 some thousand followers, and he's like 11, but he's a real fighter. He's not one of these guys who started at 25 years old. He started early, but he understands the importance. So he's around, he got pictures with Mayweather and Canelo and stars, and people know him, and he's already built a personal brand. Now, does he have the thumbprint of it yet? No, because he's developing who he is, but he's going to have the following and the fan interest, and he's going to get endorsements if he hadn't already started, because I've already seen him with products in hand. And he's 11 years old, and I'm going to cover him this Saturday. Call the fights, let you guys in on it, and let you see that that's one of the components. As I talk to you, my job is to bring awareness to what we do in Champions University, which is the Pro Am fight program. That fight gym is real. People want a part of it. They just don't know how to take part in it. So it's our job as leaders to give them the opportunity to take part in what it is that you do. And can you turn me into that next level? Do you actually have the components? Now, it took me 4 decades to create and build this because, see, the hybrid fighter wasn't new. It's just a blueprint on how to develop a person into one now. Whereas before, if you weren't born with all of these genes, these heightened senses of awareness and a deep-seated anger, you couldn't be one. But now there's a training process that will encompass everything that you need. And there are tests to make sure that you are passing the test when it's all boiled down to it. So if you working with fighters and you're not bringing this game to the next level, then that's a you thing. But this third thing, the massive appeal, what generates more interest than anything is the fact that you built such a monster, because there's hundreds of millions of people just with eyes on our account. So what'll happen if you think you become and build these people as athletes? Remember, we make the trainers the champions. You get it? We make champions out of the trainers so that they can make champions out of the fighters, and that fighter can champion their story. And there won't be people that are in positions at the end of this thing anymore who's struggling to make ends meet. They understand the validity of being a voice, being someone who has the wherewithal to build their personal brand in the age of social media, where you can do this thing for free, organically. Now, the last but not least thing that you will have the ability to do is what most of you start your gyms off of. You wanted to give back, but you don't have a pot to piss in. So you got it reverse. You put the cart before the horse. You have to build the thing, the mecca, and then give back, because the last part is your charitable initiative, and that's giving back. to the communities that served you, that commit to you, that want to know how you did it, and you can give that back to them. Signings, moments where people can come into the gym and just take part. You don't even charge people when you get to that level. And the average gym owner will be making, if you're working with fighters, $1.7 million on this business model. This is what we're going to show you exactly how to do. Every time you watch one of these videos, it's going to go a little bit deeper, and it's going to give you more of the outside view of what this is all about and how important your job is. You're just not here to just train fighters to train fighters. These guys are the epicenter of entertainment, sports, every sport entity that I come across, and I do that quite often. They want to know, teach me some boxing, because they know it's levels to this thing. They don't understand the depths of it. But the moment that you're in that position where you're working with those people and you're able to give back, you got politicians coming to your place. This is no game. So since 2020, 4,000% increase in just interest. It was already number one. Now, was it being watched more than anything? No. There are other sports that were being watched more, but not now. Fighting is the new jewel, and attention is one thing that we can draw just by doing it. Look at all the people who just go to a boxing gym one day and take 1,000 selfies so they can spread it out, so they can get that more interest in this game. Let me see. There are some questions. You can keep asking questions and I will definitely get to everybody. But I can't get to anybody right now because my computer's a little too far away, because I'm here in the vertical stance, and I'm really wanting you guys to know how important it is to learn about this hybrid, this gym model, pro-am, because this is your time. This is the stock market back in 98 when Amazon launched and blew up. This is 1984 when Apple was introduced. This is that, the turn of the opportunity. So the tech heads got their opportunity then. Online ended up blowing up with Amazon. Now the fight coaches in a sport teaching boxing. Everyone needs boxing. It doesn't matter if you're going to Kill Cliff. Doesn't matter if you go to American Top Team. Does not matter. No matter where you are, MMA Masters, every major fight team needs to have a true, authentic boxing system. The fight gym method. Pro-am fighter. That's hybrid, because that attraction thing is real, and that is the new diamond of this era. Finally, fight coaches, you have your time. Now, my question is, what are you going to do with it? Because if you don't do anything, you simply at least have to follow for more. But I'm going to take a deep dive with you, and I'm going to share something with you that I felt like some of you don't know a lot about, the behind the scenes of what we do, and some of the people that we're working for to help make sure that the fact that they're at the world championship level, we have to make sure that they're operating at the world championship level. So with that being said, just take 1 second and I'm going to take you in to the premier, the absolute premier fight gym that there is right now.
Here today at Boxer. Boxer is the premier boxing facility, literally in America. I mean, it's the ultimate boxing experience, and you gather so many other things, but this is a place where the top world champions in the world train. It's basically it's a staple in this community now, but at the same time, when you think of Boxer, you think of big box boxing, big time boxing. So today we're going to take you through and share a little bit of what goes on in Boxer. Over here at Master Boxing, we've accrued a new awesome member of our team in Champions University, and he's operating here in Boxer. So this is what it's all about in the boxing community, helping those who are operating at the world championship level, helping them operate like top world championship coaches. So there is no division here. It's all about supporting what you're doing, no matter where you are, getting you to that next level and using our 134 years of experience to take you to that next level so you won't have those problems that's on your plate interfering with your greatness. Coach Bradley, when you type school, when you want to take world championship level training serious, and you want to now become a brand, become a name brand, you want to be respected, type school. Let's take you to the next level. Boxer, Miami, USA.
Miami is on slam. And the Matrix is here.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking that journey. You see, because what we do is we focus on building champion trainers so that they can build champion fighters. Because me, myself, I've been in over 40 of those world championship training camps. I can't even count the amount of gold medals and nationals and the 4 Olympic tenures that our downline has been in part of. I can't even imagine, but I definitely did this. I definitely made sure I took all the smoke and we compiled it for all of you guys. And once you guys are learning this stuff, it's just not you're working with some regular individuals. I know there are very few to zero people with the level of credibility in the game and the distance. But what will happen when you get that knowledge, the knowledge of all of that content that has been provided and created with those experiences? What can you actually do with it? How far would you go? Because now you're in a pro fight gym, but that pro fight gym needs wheels on it. So tell me, what stage of conviction that you have in your chest, knowing that that is where you are supposed to be? Because now the game relies on you to find that deep-seated fire inside so that you can one day pull one of these out and show that they're working and training and developing the hybrid fighter and that you are official. Because one of the most important things for us is that we make you a champion. So you understand when you're building a champion that that guy will be never forgotten. And when you're selling that, the community benefits, the people in the promotional world benefits, the sanctioning bodies are surrounding you to rank you. Everything starts to fall into place. So if you're ready for things to start falling into place, continue to follow for more. If you want to talk deeper, make sure you type the word champion, and that will take you directly into the conversation. Check your inbox, and that's where you make things happen. Until next time, continue blessings. Thanks for taking the time to share with us, and we appreciate you. Remember, save this video if you have to refer back to it, and tune in tonight at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time as we go back into this conversation about the actual layers of developing this type fighter in your gym. So Pro-Am Gym, it's your time. This is your time. Your time is now. You are the champion in our book. Coach Bradley signing out from South Florida. The 305 is a real thing. Be blessed.